Welcome, everyone. This is what you've been waiting for. The NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, joined by Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. The fans here in Detroit ready to cheer on their Pistons in this inter-conference matchup. And now the opening lineup for Phoenix. They've got Brandon Knight. Markieff Morris is out there with P.J. Tucker. Then there's Len. And it's Bledsoe in at the point guard position.
Beautiful cut to the hoop. He's getting anything he wants here already.
Eric Bledsoe is still on the come as a playmaker and shooter, but because of his great physical gifts, he is certainly a rising star in the NBA.
Here's Tucker. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. So it's Detroit now. Jennings passes to Jackson. And Monroe kicks to Drummond. And it's going to be a 3-second call. On defense, Detroit. Len sets a screen for Bledsoe. Knight for three. Count the bucket. Knight's got 5 points so far.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
Monroe dishes to Drummond. And he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
He power surged that one down. Wow.
Yeah, good term to use. One of the game's top dunkers for sure.
Oh, no question. And he loves to attack the rim, doesn't he?
Out of bounds, Phoenix takes possession.
Such a careless pass. You've got to keep your head in the game here.
Just around a minute and a half into the first quarter. Bledsoe passes to Knight. Here's Tucker, defended by Butler. Second shot opportunity. Here's Len. And even after 2 offensive rebounds, they just can't get the lid off. Butler kicks to Jennings. Monroe dishes to Butler. Here's Jackson. And he bangs it home with one hand. Tremendous stuff from a guy, Clark, we think more of for his passing.
Yeah, but he's got tremendous leaping ability and a surplus supply, too.
Well, that's a great aggressive move and 2 big points, too.
And first time out of the game called for Phoenix. Checked in for P.J. Tucker. Phoenix has gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Kicks it to Morris. Parked down low that time, and he got the 3-second call. The Pistons have gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game.
It's a little strange to think of Detroit as being a team that runs, but they actually were better when they did run last year. They made good on a lot of opportunities in transition.
12 seconds.
If you're just tuning in, we've played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. The open shot from Jackson. Chance there to take the lead, missing. The Suns leading. As you said, guys, you think of basketball in the Motor City, you think of a very deliberate game and, Steve, tough D.
It had been the identity of basketball in this city for a long time, Kevin. But last year, the Pistons were a top 5 team in fast break. So, when they run, they're at their best. So the city might be entering a new era in terms of the style of play.
Timeout called, the Suns.
Well, the Pistons' acquisition of Josh Smith last season put Greg Monroe in a tight spot. Both players, natural power forwards, neither one of them floor spacers, so it really was not a good fit, and that showed in the Pistons' record.
Different look here for Detroit. Tolliver comes in for Greg Monroe. And it's Jody Meeks in for Brandon Jennings. Morris passes to Bledsoe. Down to 5 on the shot clock. At the clock, winding down.
Crashes the offensive glass and gets a slam dunk for his effort. I like the work.
Clark, pretty easy for him once he got a handle on the ball.
Yes, sir.
You're never going to get a more quality chance than off an offensive rebound.
Tolliver kicks to Butler. Phoenix grabs the miss. Land's got 4 rebounds in this game. And despite playing in one of the league's most dysfunctional offenses, Greg Monroe remained effective as a scorer, I thought, last season.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. A slight downtick in his numbers, but not surprising given the circumstances you just highlighted. This guy's got a nice mid-range game and does a good job on the offensive glass, too.
Here's Meeks. Here's Drummond. Detroit, no good that time either. Suns leading by 5. Here's Morris. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. Detroit making a switch here. Monroe's checked in. The Pistons have gone 2 of 6 in the field. Jackson dishes to Drummond. Lays it up and in off the pretty assist. Drummond's got his second basket.
Beautiful lead pass there. He let his teammate run right underneath it.
Now, here is Morris. He's tightly guarded. To the paint. Stolen by Monroe. Here's Meeks. Guarded by Bledsoe. And it's a defensive 3-second violation. Detroit shooting their first free throw of the game here.
Well, you look at last season's numbers, guys, down below 70% as a team from the line.
And that just has to improve, guys. I mean, the free throw shooting is something that has to get better. You're immediately putting yourself at a disadvantage when you shoot that poorly from the line.
Archie Goodwin, he's checked in for Eric Bledsoe. Shot clock at 6. Here's Meeks. Off the left rim and out. Stolen away. Nice job to interrupt the alley-oop attempt there. Jackson passes to Butler. Shoots from 14. And he gets the bucket. Butler's got his first 2 points.
Well, it's interesting. Coach Jeff Hornacek had never been a head coach before last season, and he never really expected to become an NBA head coach. He thought he'd be a college coach because he felt his strength was in teaching the game, but I think the league is quite happy to have him on the sidelines in Phoenix.
Poke loose. And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here. Well, the Phoenix Suns, really one of the surprise teams last season. Expected to vie for the worst record in the league. They were a playoff contender in the brutal Western Conference, no less.
Yeah, quite remarkable the job Jeff Hornacek did, and you have to give a lot of credit to not only Hornacek, but also to some player acquisitions they made to move that team right on the verge of being a playoff team in the West.
Different look here for Detroit. Sean Williams checks in for Monroe. Prince comes in for Caron Butler. And it's Jennings in for Jody Meeks. And then for Phoenix, Thornton comes in for Marcus Morris. And it's Gerald Green in for Brandon Knight.
And for Coach Hornacek of the Suns, he oversaw drastic improvement at both ends of the floor from a team that had been the second worst offense in the league and the 8th worst defense 2 seasons ago. They were around the top 10 in both categories last year.
And for the Suns last season, they exceeded their Vegas over-under for wins with 50 games to go. Wow. A lot of people figured they'd tank for a pick. Instead, I think they shocked the league.
Drummond. And it's out of bounds. The Pistons able to retain possession here. There's a minute left to play here in the first.
In building this lead, they've been excellent at not allowing any good second chances.
Down low. Got a piece of it. Goodwin kicks to left. And that one is stuffed right through.
He didn't have to get off the ground very far for that one. The big man with the slam.
Well, he makes up for any lack of athleticism with that tremendous size, Clark.
Yeah, he's not exactly a smooth operator, but what he is powerful. And when he gets positioned in the lane, he can go up and get it done.
Prince misses.
He's one guy the defense is not afraid to leave open from that range, and for obvious reasons.
Pistons trailed by 7. Clark, they've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a little bit of cottonmouth here. Dry spell for sure.
Well, you allow them to get right to the rim like that. That's your only option.
Yeah, I think you got to foul them, and free throws are better than the layup.
The Pistons shooting their second and third free throws tonight. And both free throws good for Prince. Here's Goodwin. Dishes it to Green. Launches it. Rebound by Williams. The Pistons shooting their 4th and 5th shots at the foul line in the game.
That's his first personal foul.
The first one falls. Both teams will make substitutions. No good on the second free throw. Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And what stands out to you from the Suns in this one?
And the difference to this point has been defense. This club has really gotten after it, and that's what's gotten them this lead.
Well, there's nothing that's gone up that hasn't been contested so far.
Monroe and Drummond there inside. Caldwell Pope out there with Jennings. And it's Prince in the 3 spot. That's the group for Detroit right now.
Andre Drummond, still just 21 years of age, the first one-and-done player in UConn's storied basketball history. And the Pistons staff say he's a sponge. Whether it's breaking down video with assistants or honing his skills, he is really a hard worker.
Now here's Jennings. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. Changes up. In deep, Drummond drops it in.
One of the sweetest moves in the game, the reverse layup in traffic.
And Drummond came in as the youngest player in the league, Clark. Certainly pretty raw skill-wise.
Yeah, but you could see the potential. And the biggest thing there, Kevin, was that he had a willingness to work. He came in early his rookie year to train, and last season he leaned on the new rookies to do the same thing, showing some leadership.
And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, Kevin, no doubting Andre Drummond, an emerging star at the center position. As new coach Stan Van Gundy put it, I think we have two responsibilities to Andre Drummond that will help our team. Number one, do everything we possibly can to develop him as a player. And secondly, to put a system and personnel around him that will allow him to thrive. Kevin?
Doris, it sounds like he'll play a pivotal role. Thank you.
Yeah, Van Gundy perhaps envisioning him as Dwight Howard 2.0 in the middle. We'll see if, in fact, Drummond can live up to that.
There it is, guys, that Olay defense. Just watching him go, Clark, right by.
I think we might be seeing which team is ready to take control of this game.
Yeah, that's a dunk that could absolutely get them going. I agree, Clark.
And Phoenix making a change here. Knight's checked in. The Pistons trailing. Prince with a screen on Bledsoe. Jennings dishes to Prince. Monroe, the pass to Drummond. Pistons passing it around. Out of bounds, Phoenix takes possession.
He tried to squeeze past the defender, but ran out of room.
Butler, he's checked in for Detroit. You would think that a team like the Pistons, who struggled as they did, would have trouble with teams out west, but they really held their own.
You know, that was surprising. They weren't exactly taking the conference by storm, but they definitely were able to knock off a few of the powerhouses out there.
Jennings kicks to Butler. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot two right here.
Free throws.
And to go back to what you said with the Pistons, they had a bad record against the West, but a lot of those games were close.
For a team like the Pistons that wasn't going to make a lot of noise last year in terms of competing, I think it's a good sign that they did have some tough games against some of the Western Conference opponents where they did compete at a playoff-type level.
Bledsoe sets the screen for Knight. Back to Bledsoe. Now the pass to Morris. Good D by Williams. And the foul on Eric Bledsoe. That is his first foul of the game. And the Suns making a change here. Morris is checked in. Here's Drummond. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
A great second quarter here after a difficult first. I'd say they knocked the rust off. Sometimes it takes a little while before you get the blood flowing and you find your rhythm.
Archie Goodwin, he's checked in for the Suns. What do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for the Pistons?
Guys, they're really passing the ball well here in the first half.
You know, another factor in their offense so far has been their ability to convert and score off turnovers.
The Pistons making a change here. Meeks is checked in. Now here's Butler. 6 to shoot. Meeks can't hit.
Well, the effort was there, but he just couldn't quite fight his way through traffic. Boy, a terrific rebound and slam on the putback. He never gives up, always persistently pursuing the pumpkin.
And that's an essential quality for an offensive rebounder, an outstanding offensive rebounder that he is.
Yeah, he's got to go after it, and he does.
Yeah, he qualifies as one of the best in the league.
Into Drummond. Makes it off the glass. Drummond's got the lead up to 2 now for the Pistons.
They've got to continue to put pressure on the defense by probing inside. That's what's really working for them.
And when you're doing the job they are inside, it takes pressure off the perimeter guys.
Williams, that's good.
And they're beginning to fall apart a little bit defensively, especially inside.
Well, that's 4 straight buckets now at the rim.
Well, last season for Butler, he knew he was going to be in a rebuilding situation with the Bucks, but when they bought him out at the end of February, he had a chance to join a real contender.
Over to the wing. Here's Morris. Lets it fly from 18. Guys, this offense very effective.
Going right at him. Oh, how about that basketball, man?
Wow, and that sort of showmanship is just deflating right now to a team trying, Clark, to get back into this game like this.
Yeah, definitely a jam with emphasis. A big apostrophe or exclamation point. How about maybe even a question mark, partner?
Well, you know what the questions are about now. It's their defense, that's for sure.
A different look here for Detroit. Greg Monroe, he's checked in for Williams. And it's Jackson in for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Brandon Wright's checked in for Phoenix. Gerald Green comes in for Knight. Jackson with it. Now Green defending. Butler kicks to Meeks. Goodwin with the steal. And here is Green. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Morris dishes to Green. And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call. Pistons leading by 4. Meeks passes to Drummond. Nice ball movement by Detroit. To the inside. Off the pick. And Jackson with the basket on the assist by Meeks.
Really not hard to see why they're giving up points on this run. I mean, they've just given them too many looks inside.
Yeah, I mean, they're just getting pounded in there. The defense not offering much resistance. They've got to force the ball back out to the perimeter.
P.J. Tucker, he's checked in for Phoenix. Detroit's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. They set the pick. Monroe kicks to Drummond. Jackson dishes to Meeks. There's the feed to Monroe. It's stolen. Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. Nice catch and finish on the alley-oop.
Looky here, looky here. How about that one? That play, take that play and put it in the alley-oop textbook for future reference.
Perfectly done. You put it on a platter for him. Gosh,
Sure did. And how about the touch on the finish, too? That was really nicely done.
Danny Granger is checked in for Phoenix. Hudson comes in for Goodwin. 20 seconds left now here in the second. It'll go, and the Detroit lead is down to just 4 points with a bucket from Danny Granger.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah, it sure has, Clark. I mean, with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, they really haven't had to do much on the perimeter.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over. Making a change here. $15 seconds left to play here in the half. Passes to Meeks. He dishes it to Drummond. And stolen by Wright. Wright for 3. And oh, he hits the buzzer beater. And a tight game here as we end the first half. Pistons lead by 1. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from the Palace of Auburn Hills. Here we go now. now the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far.
Drummond having a terrific game. 12 points and the 1 steal.
Just can't find fault with anything he's done here. The effort, the energy, his production, his defense, it's all there.
All hustle, non-stop effort from him all over that 94 by 50-foot box.
Setting the floor for the Suns. Danny Granger out there with P.J. Tucker. Then there's Brandon Knight. Then there's Bledsoe. And it's Wright in the center filling out the middle. 6 on the shot by Butler. Nobody around. Monroe, the pass to Drummond. And there's the 3-second violation.
You cannot afford to make mistakes like that here in a tight game.
Sean Williams checks in for Craig Monroe.
You know, the Phoenix Suns have actually drawn a lot of influence from the Boston Celtics. They've hired several personnel people in management and on the coaching staff from the Celtics organization, and they've even implemented the Tom Thibodeau-style defensive system that originated with that Celtic club back in the day.
Caldwell Pope, he's checked in for Detroit. And it's on a bound to the Pistons as Detroit retains possession.
Maybe a low percentage pass, but it still nearly got through.
I like it, though. I mean, it's an aggressive play. Heads up defending, deflected away. Right back to the basics there, using the one-hand slam for that one.
Doesn't he make the basics look pretty exceptional?
Yeah, he does. They look sweet when he does them.
Well, he should stay with those basics in a tight ball game because we've got one here tonight.
Here's Tucker. And it's sent back by Drummond. And that's out of bounds. Detroit will retain possession. Lenz checked in for Brandon Wright. Third quarter of basketball, about a minute and a half in. Butler kicks to Meeks. Williams inside. He dents the rim with a two-handed slam. Wow.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
Yeah, he's sensing this is a critical time in this game, guys.
Parked down low that time, and he got the 3-second call. For Detroit, they've gone 2 of 3 from the field to start the second half. Outside Butler. Beyond the arc. Shot is off. So Phoenix will take it the other way. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession.
Boy, just a brain cramp, guys. I mean, that should have been the simplest of exchanges.
The Pistons shoot 47%, pretty solid. They set the pick. Williams kicks to Drummond. Misses the layup. He had him with that bump fake.
Well, one of his issues is he's a player that just does not excel at fighting through contact on his way to the rim. Guys, they've had a solid start to the second half offensively. Got good looks, and they've made 3 out of 4 of them.
Brandon Knight spent 1 season in Kentucky, now in his 4th season in the NBA. Still young and a hard worker. Fearless on the court. I think a lot of upside still there for him.
Len dishes to Bledsoe. The lead pass was put in just the right spot. And the Suns lead by 3. For Detroit, they've gone 3 of 6 in the third quarter. 50% from the field. Deflects the pass. Stolen by Bledsoe. Oh,
Look out!
wow. Wow, and that sort of showmanship is just deflating right now to a team trying hard to get back into this game like this.
Yeah, definitely a jam with emphasis. A big apostrophe or exclamation point. How about maybe even a question mark, partner?
Well, you know what the questions are about now? It's their defense, that's for sure.
We talk about Brandon Knight's scrappiness. He ended up on some posters trying to make the right defensive play.
I think you and everybody else remembers that DeAndre Jordan dunk. But you got to give him credit. He was trying to make a defensive play and ended up getting posterized. But I like his effort at that end of the floor.
Powered down as the whistle blows. A 3-point play chance. Now Well, as far as the defense goes, Clark, that is not what's going to keep them in this league.
Yeah, but from the other perspective, you can see just how much that dunk pumped those players up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, guys. I sense a little bit of a momentum shift here. That's pretty much been the norm for them, getting their points off assists and great ball movement.
Nice rhythm and flow for this team. Tremendous communication and alertness.
Here's Green. Another one falls for Phoenix.
Boy, what a half from the field they're having. They're going to extend that lead if they stay this high.
Now they've taken it up another notch, Clark, looking very confident out there.
Prince, the pass to Tolliver. To the wing on the left. Meeks can't hit.
Well, it happens. He was wide open, but just couldn't get it to go.
Here's Morris. Another three for Phoenix.
They are killing them with that three-point shot here in the second half.
Well, the defense fully stretched out trying to stop that shot and still not able to get it done.
Now a timeout called by Detroit.
Well, you know, Marcus Morris enjoyed the best season of his young career in 2013-14. He set highs in every shooting percentage category. He's one of many young players making impressive progress under the tutelage of Coach Hornacek.
He's checked in for Detroit. John Lucas comes in for Meeks. And a change for the Suns. Marcus Thornton. He's checked in for Eric Bledsoe.
And Marcus Morris, more of a power forward at Kansas, transitioning to small forward at the NBA level. And after a tough start to his rookie season, of late he's demonstrated the shooting range that you need to play on the perimeter.
And here are the Suns now. And Thornton kicks to left. And it's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Detroit making a switch. Monroe's checked in. Thornton dishes to Morris. And Marcus, the younger and slightly smaller of the Morris twins from Philadelphia. He's 6'9" and 235.
That's not too small, though, when you think about it. But he may be a bit more athletic than his brother Markieff. Neal still needs to improve defensively, but I think he's made nice progress so far.
Alex Len, the number 5 overall pick last season by the Suns. He had to undergo ankle surgery just prior to the season. Played limited minutes, but they're hoping he can make that leap here in year 2. Very skilled big man.
And Thornton kicks to Granger for the 3. Pistons trailed by 9. Monroe. Granger with the defensive effort. The drive by Green. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. Detroit's gone 0-2 from deep to start things here in the second half. Lucas kicks to Prince. Pass to Caldwell-Pope. The dish to Drummond. And he caught that pass in full stride on his way to the big slam.
Tell you what, Kevin, they'd love to see him get a lot more of those opportunities.
Clark, that deficit will go away quickly if he does.
And I like the way he capped that drive off, guys, with the one-hand punch.
Clark, you had an opportunity to watch Alex Len play with Maryland. What do you think about his game?
Well, I like his potential, Kevin. He's a big guy. He's pretty strong, and he's got good athleticism and mobility. You just hope he can keep his ankles healthy, because if he can, this kid has a chance to be really good. You know, it always takes big guys, usually anywhere from 4 to 6 years to develop as NBA players. So if healthy, this guy will be one of the better centers in the league, I think.
Lucas with it. Feeds to Monroe. Off target at the rim. Pistons trail by 7. Monroe and Drummond there inside. Jody Meeks out there with Jackson. And it's Prince in the small forward. That's the group for Detroit right now. Here's Monroe. He goes up again. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for the Suns.
Man, they keep piling up the assists, guys. Great ball movement.
They've been firing on all cylinders in the transition game, too. I mean, they've really run the break well.
Catching up on the changes for Phoenix. Brandon Knight's checked in for Green. And it's Eric Bledsoe in for Marcus Thornton. Tipped away. Out of bounds. Pistons ball as Detroit keeps possession. And the Suns making a change here. Tucker's checked in. Here's Drummond. Now off the inbound. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot 2. An uptick in minutes last season for Andre Drummond. The Pistons had brought him along slowly, Clark, in his rookie season, much to the frustration of the Piston fans.
You know what? It was the Pistons training staff, though, Kevin, that pulled back the range. They found he had some imbalances athletically that predisposed him to injury, so they wanted to be cautious with him, and it looks like it's paying off.
Suns leading by 3. Good, and Bledsoe gets the assist. Bledsoe's got assist number 8 here in this one already. The Pistons shooting at 46%, making some buckets. Here's Drummond. And the powerful one-handed slam.
He is an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
You know, he picks the simple one-handed stuff to get the 2 points.
Those could be an important 2 points, too, guys, in a close game like this one.
Final quarter here, and we're just over a minute and a half through it. Monroe with a screen on Bledsoe. Here's Jackson. Here's Monroe. And Granger with the block. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Now it's a 7-point Suns lead.
He's definitely turned things around in this game. I mean, he was more of a background player in the first half. He's jumped center stage now.
Here's Drummond. And down it goes, jamming that one home.
Up high and down hard with the one hand.
Got a little extra forceful with that one, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
I think he's hoping to kind of get his teammates going a little bit, fellas.
And here comes Jackson, leading the fast break. Here's Prince. He dents the rim with a 2-handed slam. Wow.
Well, you talk about clutch plays, defensively and offensively. We saw both right there.
Well, neither team can afford mistakes. You have to manage the clock and play smart here in the waning moments.
Timeout called, the Suns.
Well, Tayshaun Prince, a terrific player in his time with that championship Detroit Pistons team of years past, but his decline over the last 5 years has been noticeable. Ever since he hit 30, it's been downhill.
So Detroit going with an almost entire new group here. Williams, he's checked in for Monroe. Butler comes in for Tayshaun Prince. Caldwell Pope, he's checked in for Reggie Jackson. And it's Jennings in for Jody Meeks. Phoenix also making some changes. Brandon Wright's checked in for Len. Green comes in for Brandon Knight. And it's Thornton in for Eric Bledsoe. All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Thank you, guys. I had a chance to find out what Jeff Hornacek was discussing with his players. He told them, the game is right there for the taking, fellas, but we've got to be first. First to loose balls, first to the rim. We have to give our all right here. Kevin, now's the time.
And for Prince, now 34 years of age, with this season and next left on his contract.
Yeah, still a smart veteran who doesn't make many mistakes. And it's certainly clear that his best days are behind him.
And there's the foul. It will go on P.J. Tucker. Stripped away. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession.
A temporary lapse of focus from him on that turnover. It's embarrassing, but on occasion it does happen.
Out of bounds. Phoenix will take possession.
I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guys. My goodness.
Lenz checked in for the Suns. And Thornton kicks it to Tucker. Here's Green. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. And the Suns lead by 6.
Good defense, but you gotta love the finish with the finger roll over the top.
Caldwell Pope kicks to Jennings. Wants to get it to Butler and does. That falls. Great assist by Brandon Jennings.
Nothing too fancy, just simple execution. That's getting the job done, and they need to make every possession count.
I agree, Clark. They need stops, and they can't afford any wasted possessions. Those inside shots are really high percentage looks.
Butler is Green on Thornton. Jennings passes to Caldwell Pope. Pops loose off the pick and hammers it home.
Boy, a pick was set at the perfect angle on the floor, and he used it nicely.
That's a play we may see from them a few more times.
Why not? I mean, when it works, you go back to it. Make them stop you.
A different look here for Detroit. Monroe comes in for Williams. And Reggie Jackson subbed in for Caldwell Pope. The Suns making a change here as well. Morris is checked in. Timeout called, the Suns. Jody Meeks, he's checked in for the Pistons. And then for Phoenix, Brandon Knight comes in for Gerald Green. And it's Archie Goodwin in for Marcus Thornton.
These are incredible rebounding numbers. I'm not sure if we've ever seen anything like this, Clark.
That's for sure, Steve. I mean, a superhuman performance on the backboard. Well done.
Knight dishes to Granger. Pulls up on the wing. Rebound, Detroit. And Jackson throws it down hard.
And what a time to tie this game up, guys. Wow.
Right where they need to be here. This is going to be a wild finish. I can just feel it.
Phoenix calls timeout.
Well, I felt like his defense was letting him down out there, guys, so we wanted to get a timeout to talk it over and try to tighten things up here.
You know, a part of coaching, a lot of coaching actually is making sure that momentum never gets too far away from your team. That's a good timeout.
Eric Bledsoe's checked in for Archie Goodwin. 1:53 left to play in the final quarter. Len. Good, and Bledsoe gets the assist. And that's now 11 points for Alex Len.
What a display of offense we've seen today, and it's only getting better.
Well, both defenses have been on their heels all day, and it's begun to take its toll.
Here's Meeks. Guarded by Bledsoe. Monroe, no good.
Things have kind of gone south for him here in the quarter.
Bledsoe outside. Morris, no good.
What determination. There was a lot of competition for that rebound, and he came away with it.
It's tipped. Butler goes in. Pass to Meeks. Wide open. It falls. A huge shot to tie it up.
Ooh, a pressure basket right there.
Now that's coming through in the clutch.
Here's Knight. And he throws it down hard with one hand. A big bucket there to quiet this crowd, Clark.
You know, that's exactly what you got to do. Take them out of the equation. Make those fans be quiet.
Yep, and that's exactly what he did.
The drive by Monroe. Shot from the wing. The shot is off. And Phoenix the other way now. And Phoenix pushing it up now. Bledsoe's got the ball. A shot by Knight, no good.
Well, it's still within reach.
Yeah, but their offense, Steve, needs to be just about perfect from here out.
And stolen by Knight. And the Suns call time here. They're in front by 2. 17 seconds left to play here in the fourth. The Suns making a switch here. Suns have gone 8 of 14 from the floor here in the fourth quarter. Green kicks to Bledsoe. And now we've got the intentional foul.
Well, that took way too long. If they're trying to stretch this thing out, they shouldn't waste so much time.
So the first one drops, and that makes it a 3-point lead. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line. It's a 4-point ballgame.
And you can wrap this one up. Great job to stay cool at the line and polish it off.
Now a timeout called by Detroit. They're down by 4. Just 4 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, what's your take?
Now, I'm not sure there's enough time here, Clark. What do you think?
I doubt it, but I'm sure they'll go for the quick shot and intentional foul.
It's Meeks outside. No good.
Now, he's their top rebounder. He's doing an excellent job on the glass today.
Well, I tell you what, I love the effort he's shown on the boards today, Steve. It's been fantastic.